Talking with the experts.
Well, I know if we're talking about most of the platforms now even have their own way where you can look at data if you have a business account. So on Facebook, if you have a business page, Instagram, a business account, Twitter, a business account, TikTok, a business account, YouTube, and so forth. If you have a business account, then they have a section on the business account where you can actually look at the analytics and it will tell you how many people viewed your videos, how many comments, like your reach. And then from there, especially on Facebook, they'll even give you a suggestion of, hey, this post got a lot of engagement. You may want to, what they say, boost the post because of the fact that that post had a lot of engagement.
Talking with the experts.
Hello and welcome to Talking with the Experts. My name's Rose Davidson from rosedavidson.com. And Talking with the Experts is about all things business by business owners for business owners. And you can find it on all good podcasting streaming platforms and on YouTube. And today it's my great pleasure to introduce you to Myown Holmes. And Myown is a social media speaker, trainer, and strategist on branding, B2B and B2C selling and social media strategy. She has led social media training for corporate companies and professional services. Myown is a highly regarded social media expert to corporate and non-profit entities and has spoken at several conferences, some being creative. Oh, that's a great one. At the Con Black Writers Conference in Atlanta and Social Media Marketing Made Easy Conference in Norfolk, on Instagram marketing for small business, the state of social, and creating an influential brand voice on social media for corporate organizations. She has over 10 years digital marketing experience and has helped use social communication to drive visibility and generate leads. As a social media trainer, Myown has developed and delivered workshops to businesses and entrepreneurs in areas like advanced Instagram marketing techniques, business to business and business to consumer social selling, and business to business and business to consumer social media marketing basics. Wow, that is a really impressive resume. Thank you, Myown, and welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
Terrific. So tell me a little bit about, what it is that you actually do for those that may not know what a social media marketing person does.
Absolutely. So, in essence, what my company and I do is to help small business owners create visibility online. And so we help you go from zero to omnipresent.
Wow, that's a big range, isn't it? It's terrific. Now, I guess, so tell me a little bit about, I guess, what it involves to do what you do for clients.
Absolutely. So, of course, everything for us, we're into data. So, everything starts with reviewing your previous marketing efforts that you've done online. And then from there, we take your data, we research a client's niche, and then we work to create a strategy that's fit for their business to help them be relevant and create a presence online. The problem that I notice that many have when we're talking about creating a presence online is that they don't do the research. They just go for the platform that they're comfortable with and they're there and then they just start and then they're like, hey, I have all of these followers, but then the followers aren't turning into customers or clients. And that's an issue.
It definitely is this. I think people think that, that they're having a huge amount of followers or fans or whatever, likes on their page, equates to popularity, but that's not the case. You're popular if people are buying from you, and it doesn't really matter, what you're selling. If they're not buying, then you're obviously not doing the right things. So
Absolutely.
how can businesses improve their social media presence?
Well, the first thing is they can look at what's trending. right? Because you want to be in the know and you want to know what's happening. And the thing is that social media platforms go with what's trending. So if we're talking about Instagram, for example, right now, reels are what's popular. So if you're just starting out on Instagram and you're trying to solidify your presence there, then you need to start out with reels. If we're talking about TikTok, right, that's a different platform. Many have put TikTok on the back burner, but it's a really great platform for you to give information for your business in quick little snippets, right? So much so that now even YouTube is going to where their platform is seeing a tick up in people who do what they call video shorts, which are those shorter videos.
Okay, yeah, I didn't know that YouTube was doing that, so that's interesting to know. Um, because they're the second biggest search engine in the world, so against
Absolutely.
Google. So yeah, it's worthwhile being on YouTube. But I find their algorithms are a bit dodgy, not dodgy, but they're hard to work out. A bit like
Yeah.
Facebook algorithms, they change every single day. They're not the same, and it's not consistent. So how can business owners overcome those two challenges about algorithms, because people don't understand them, and they should.
Absolutely. So the first thing I say is that number one, you can't know everything about every platform. So get comfortable and find two platforms that you're comfortable on and where your target audience is. That's first. So that you don't have to try to keep up with all the algorithms for every single platform, right? So first, let's concentrate on your two platforms. Then from there, when you're thinking about algorithms, what you need to do is I say set up Google alerts so that you're alerted when there's something new transitioning and happening. Be there for when they have town halls. So when Facebook or Instagram or any of the platforms, they all have town halls where they talk about new updates. What I notice with Facebook and Instagram, especially, is anytime they're rolling out something new with the platform, there's a change in the algorithm. So if when they were getting ready to roll out the reels, there was a change in the algorithm and hashtags were going haywire, right? And where hashtags used to be the way that you can really make sure that you connect with your audience, well, it wasn't working. And so then the next thing you know, here comes Reels. And then after some time, everything fixes itself. And now it's okay, hashtags are working again. So staying up to date with what's happening will help you with understanding the algorithm and keeping track of your data, knowing what's working for you and your business will help you. So what worked last April may not work this April, right? But you need to be tracking your numbers and your KPIs to understand what's working. Okay, we need to do videos on this day. We need to do this type of content on Wednesdays. We need to have more, we need to be using 30 hashtags instead of 15. You won't know if you're not tracking what's working.
Yeah. So how do people do that? How do they track if they, don't have a marketing agency to look after them?
So a couple of things. First, a lot of these social media schedulers have what I call the easy, simple way for you to track. And it's just most of the social media schedulers, if we're talking about Hootsuite or Later or Planoly, they actually offer you analytics with your commenting and your likes and followers and reach, right? And that's the simplistic way. But then there's, okay, if you have some money to invest, I always say invest in a platform for data. And so then if you invest in a platform for data, it can actually tell you, as well as using Google Analytics, knowing which platform your audience is coming from will help you. So here's the thing. You're on LinkedIn and you're like, yeah, my audience is on LinkedIn. This is where my people are. But then when you pull up your Google Analytics, it's showing you that your traffic is being driven from Facebook. So then, now it all makes sense why you're not selling, right? Because you've put all this attention on LinkedIn, but then you've now looked at the data where Google Analytics has showed you your traffic is coming from Facebook. So now you can tether your attention to Facebook so that now you can garner a higher reach, and then now you have sales.
Okay, so I do know a lot of business owners who advertise their services or, go into groups and do all that other sort of thing, but they wouldn't have a clue how to read their analytics or even where to go to find them. So is there an easy place to be able to find them, or somewhere that there's some instruction?
Well, I know if we're talking about, most of the platforms now even have their own way where you can look at data if you have a business account. So on Facebook, if you have a business page, Instagram, a business account, Twitter, a business account, TikTok, a business account, YouTube, and so forth. If you have a business account, then they have a section on the business account where you can actually look at the analytics, and it will tell you how many people viewed your videos, how many comments, like your reach. And then from there, especially on Facebook, they'll even give you a suggestion of, hey, this post got a lot of engagement. You may want to, what they say, boost the post because of the fact that that post had a lot of engagement.
So what's the difference between boosting a post and actually putting an ad? What is the difference? I mean, I know what the word boost means, but a lot of people might not understand what the difference is.
Absolutely. So boost is just exactly what it says. If you want a boost in your presence and for people brand awareness, boosting is great. Do not boost a post and look for sales. It's not going to work. You need to then run an ad, and then you can run an ad, whether it's an ad for leads or an ad for conversions is the type of ad you want to run. So when people say, oh, I tried ads don't work, and then I look and I go in their system and it's like, well, no, you didn't. You just boosted 50 posts, right? And you spent $15 per. Like, what do you think you're going to garner if you only spent $15 in total on an ad?
Not much, no.
Exactly. So I always tell them boosting is for brand awareness. Ads are for conversions.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I've been always told that boosting a post is useless, and now I understand why, because it's not to make a sale. So
well, here's the thing. It's not useless, because if you are just starting out in your business, what do you want? Brand awareness, right? So what I always suggest is that you boost a post, right? I suggest doing a video post, boosting that video post. Then now you've had people who've watched your video. So now what you can do is, when you're ready to create an ad for conversions, because you're selling whatever offer you have, when you go in there, create an audience that's based off of video views. And now you can target all those people who watched your video.
Now, I know Facebook now has really great tools in the Creator Studio, where you can find out how your video has been going and how long people watched for and how many people watched it for how long. And I think it's an absolutely wonderful. They've really upped their tools so that businesses can find out exactly what's going on. So yeah, I've got to take my hat off to Facebook for that.
I actually like the Creator Studio, and you can actually schedule posts in there for Facebook and Instagram. And the piece that people don't know is, if you use IGTV, you can schedule your IGTV videos as well inside of there. So
I didn't know that. Because I loaded the podcast up into IGTV on my Instagram account, and I didn't realize you could actually schedule them. So thank you for that little bit of information. Now I can do it rather than having to upload, 8 or 10 at a time. So yeah, because boring.
Yep, right inside of the Facebook/Instagram Creator Studio, it will allow you to do that.
Oh, wonderful. Thanks. I didn't know that. There you go. I learned something new today. So have you written any books at all?
Not yet. I am actually in the midst of finishing up one of my books, which I'm really excited about. Um, I think that this is for me. I don't know anybody else, but a book is a work of art, and it's something that will be here past for the test of time, right?
Mm.
When I'm no longer here, my book will be here. And so I really feel like it's a work and a piece of art. And so I really wanted to take my time because I wanted to really speak to me and what I want people to know about marketing. So when I one day embark and leave this earth, this is what people will be left with.
Yep, makes perfect sense. Absolutely. So what I mean, obviously the book's about marketing. Have you got a working title for it?
So it's based on social media. It's called Everything Social. And what I did was actually do a 5-day workshop based on social media and training you. And it's like a little jump start. And everyone was like, oh my gosh, this is so great. This is so great. And then there's a workbook that comes with it. And then I kept getting asked, do you have a book? The question you're asking me, do you have a book? Do you have a book? I'm like, no, no, no. And then it was a friend of mine who actually said, you really should take this and package it because no one has something like this that really gives you a jump start A to Z point of knowing everything social and showing up and standing out on social media.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah, I think that it definitely be very helpful to people from, who don't know a lot about business social media versus personal social media. Because there is a huge difference. It's not.
Oh, absolutely. And there's a difference between if you have a business and a personal branded versus a business and a company brand, right? Those are two different pieces too.
So. Do you want to explain the difference?
Oh, absolutely. So a personal brand, I tell people this all the time. You cannot compare a personal brand to a business brand because when we're talking about social media, a personal brand will always be easier and faster to grow than a business brand. Because why? People connect with people. And so when you're talking about a business brand, but what we will now see is that business brands are becoming more personable. So I really love Twitter for this because I follow some of like Wendy's and Burger King and Chick-fil-A. I don't know if you notice the banter that goes back and forth between them when one of them rolls out like a new food product. And then the other one will like chime in and have a comment or something to say, right? That's usually what you would see from a personal brand. But now business brands are starting to come in and seep in and use that because they're realizing how effective it is in their marketing.
Yeah, it is. It's a big learning curve for the people that aren't in the know, and of course, and this is why they need a media agency to look after all that stuff, because it can be quite confusing if you're not that way inclined to understand how algorithms work and the difference between business to business and business to consumer and all those other things. So it is huge, and if you have no interest or it's not in your DNA to understand, then it's better to go and outsource that sort of thing and save yourself huge headaches.
Absolutely. And I always, time is money. So what do you want to spend your time doing? Do you want to spend your time in your zone and in your doing your expertise? Or do you want to spend your time trying to learn social media, then trying to figure out what's working, then figuring out what software to use, then actually implementing when you could have hired experts to do this for you?
Absolutely. Yeah, it makes sense. It's like apples and oranges, really, isn't it? Myown, where can people find you in the world?
Oh, I am on social media everywhere. You can find me at Socially Polished. If you're on Facebook or Instagram, I'm on LinkedIn as well, Twitter. I also have a Facebook group. It's called The Society. It's actually for women business owners, right? Because I'm just like, hey, women, we need a little bit more help. So.
Yes. Yeah. And those types of groups are popping up more and more now. I think women are finally, getting their voices heard, and they want to be heard, and so they want to go and spend time with like-minded business owners.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes. All right. So any last words of advice, Myown?
My last words of advice are, this is what I tell people all the time. Social media is just like when you go to a networking event. When you go to a networking event, no one stands on the wall and just waits for the people to come and connect with them. You work the room. You need to do the same thing on social media. You can't just make an account and assume that everyone's going to come to your page. You need to go out and seek people and work the platform. So that means building and starting to make connections on the platform with people.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with that. I know when I first started my business, 6 years ago, build it and they will come.
Yes.
And that was my philosophy. I thought, yeah, it's out there now. People will just flock in. Gee, how wrong was I? It's hard work. People don't realize how much work it takes to get your brand awareness out to the public. It takes a lot of work to become
it's a
popular.
job.
It is on its own. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why media managers have popped up, because there weren't any in back in when I first started. So it's become quite a popular job, or not job, vocation.
I could really that's a whole different conversation. I don't knock anyone, right? I don't knock anyone. But I will say, when you're looking for a social media manager or strategist, please do your due diligence. I will say that.
Yes, because there are a lot of shysters out there.
Yes. And I'm not saying that it takes someone who's went to college for it. I'm not saying that.
No, it doesn't need to be.
It's someone who really has taken the time to learn and knows social media and keeps educating themselves on what's happening and stays up to date on what's happening. If they're not doing any of that, if they can't talk to you about key performance indicators, run the other way. If they don't have a strategy, like, one thing that I always say is, you can't build anything and create anything without a strategy. If they're coming to you without a plan, run the other way.
Absolutely. That's really great advice. It is. Yes. Don't waste your money when you don't have to.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Myown. Thank you so much for your time today. It's been an absolute pleasure. And I will talk to you soon. Thank you.
Have a great evening.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
Talking with the experts.